Hi everyone and welcome to class. We're going to jump right in with chapter 1, which focuses on food choices and human health. Nutrition is the science of food. Okay, so what, right? Why should you even care about nutrition? What are nutritious foods and what roles do they play in the body? What is a nutritious diet? And how can you make healthy choices? Through this course, we're going to be addressing a lot of topics, and many of these questions are going to come up. My hope is that the information that we talk about and that you learn about, you'll recognize how it's very applicable for you, and it will help you appreciate the importance of good nutrition. So let's jump in. Nourishment is all about balance. Everybody eats foods, and the foods that we consume have cumulative effects on our bodies. So, we don't just eat once in a while. We eat every single day of our life. What's really important is that foods provide the right amount of energy needed or calories, and we'll talk more about this later, and sufficient amount of nutrients. And nutrients are components of foods that are needed for body function. So nutrients are really important in that they support growth, maintenance, and repair, and they also provide energy for the body. And we'll talk about what all the nutrients are in some upcoming slides. Deficiencies or excesses and imbalances of nutrients can negatively impact health and actually lead to malnutrition. So proper nutrition is very important to allow us to stay in balance and be properly nourished. So what is a diet? When we think about a diet or you hear the word diet, it often has this negative connotation of like, oh, I can't eat that, I'm on a diet. So it really, we automatically think about restricting certain foods. But really, a diet is just the foods and beverages that a person usually eats and drinks. And this varies from person to person. So my usual diet may be different than yours, which may be different than yours and different than yours. So there's no right or wrong diet. What we want is a healthy diet, and we'll talk about what some of those components and characteristics of a healthy diet are. Our diets do directly affect health, and only smoking and tobacco use and excess alcohol are more influential on health than nutrition. So if you check out this table or this book, you'll see the leading causes of death in the United States. You can see here that diet profoundly affects health, and 4 of the top 10 leading causes of death in the United States are related to poor nutrition. So you can see those that have the apple by them, so heart disease, cancer, stroke, and diabetes. All 4 of those are related to nutrition. The one that's in yellow or that has the little beer mug next to it, accidents are related to excess alcohol intake. So through this, I hope that this allows you to recognize that chronic diseases have a connection to poor diet. So it is important that we distinguish between chronic and acute diseases. So chronic just means that it's a disease that lasts longer than 3 months. So something that you have for a long time. So if someone has diabetes, this would be a chronic disease. If someone is overweight or obese, this is a chronic disease. Heart disease is another example. So again, it's the time period. An acute disease lasts for only a short period of time. So you have it and it goes away. So this would be something like a common cold or maybe even a sinus infection. So chronic diseases, we talked about that they're very much related to nutrition, but they cannot be prevented by diet alone. There is a genetic component, so some people may just be genetically predisposed to develop certain chronic conditions. And some of these inherited diseases are largely unrelated to nutrition. However, let's say that your family has high risk for having high cholesterol or high triglyceride values. Some of your nutrition choices that you make can positively impact your chance of having that high triglyceride later on in life. So sometimes nutrition plays a role, but sometimes our genetics may override our nutrition or other lifestyle behavior choices. However, other lifestyle choices can also have a connection to chronic diseases. So again, tobacco and alcohol use are the only things that are more powerful or more influential than nutrition. Physical activity can affect chronic disease risk, sleep, and stress. So really, the more nutrition related that a disease or a health condition is, the more successful proper nutrition can help to treat or prevent it. So in your book, you'll read a little bit about healthy people, and these are just nutrition objectives for the nation. They're set by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and these objectives are set every 10 years and then evaluated to see how we as a nation have been doing. So the last set that came out was, or that they evaluated was 2010, and then the next time they'll evaluate is 2020. So you can check out healthypeople.gov to see what some of the objectives are for 2020, and also check out table 1, 2 in your book. When they evaluated how we did in 2010, we did okay on meeting some of the objectives and not so good on others. So in general, people are not consuming enough fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and we're not getting enough physical activity. However, cholesterol levels decreased, the number of foodborne illnesses and outbreaks decreased. However, overweight and diabetes, the prevalence of those two diseases increased. So we need to do a better job, and these objectives are meant to help us do that, or these goals. So it's something for the United States to work towards. So just something to check about, and you can read more about it at your leisure. Let's talk about nutrients now. So there are 6 classes of nutrients, and 3 of them are energy yielding, and those are going to be our carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. The other nutrients are vitamins, minerals, and water. So remember, 6 classes of nutrients, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, and water. So let's talk more about these. So energy is the capacity to do work. And like we just mentioned, there are 3 nutrients that provide energy that can be used by the body. Carbohydrates and protein both provide 4 calories per gram of energy for the body, and fat is more energy dense, meaning it provides more energy per gram. So fat provides 9 calories per gram. Alcohol, this is just a little note for you. Alcohol also provides energy, and it kind of falls right in the middle of carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So it provides 7 calories per gram, but it's not considered a nutrient because it's not essential. So we have to have carbohydrates, protein, and fat to function. Alcohol, as much as you may think that it's essential, it is not essential, and it actually interferes with growth, maintenance, and repair of body tissues. So it does provide energy or calories for our body, but it doesn't do anything else beneficial, and that's why it's not considered a nutrient. All right, a little bit about vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals do not provide any energy for the body, but they are involved in the regulation of different body processes, so like digestion, movement, and wound healing. They also serve as parts of body structures like your bones and muscles. All right, so a little bit more about energy. So a kilocalorie, for our purposes, is going to be the same thing as a calorie. And a calorie is the amount of heat that's necessary to raise the temperature of a kilogram or liter of water by 1 degree Celsius. It's the unit of measure for food energy. So we just talked about carbohydrates and proteins are both 4 calories per gram, and fat is 9 calories per gram. The amount of calories and nutrients that each individual needs every day is based upon gender, age, and activity level. So men tend to need more calories or have higher calorie needs or energy needs than females. As we age, our total energy needs decrease as we get much older. And then activity level, if we're more active, then we require more calories and nutrients. And we'll talk more about all of these throughout the course of the semester. It's really best to focus on real food. So you'll see the section in the chapter that talks about dietary supplements, and supplements are very popular. However, real food is really our best option because the digestive system can break down and absorb nutrients most efficiently from whole foods. And eating is really important to us. You know, it provides a physical, it also provides psychological and social comfort. So eating is an activity that most of us look forward to. Foods also provide other phytochemicals or compounds that are beneficial, and these cannot necessarily be recreated in a supplemental form. So what's really important is that dietary supplements should not be used as meal replacers or insurance for malnutrition. So some people may need to take a supplement, and that's okay, but you shouldn't rely on a supplement to meet all of your nutrient needs. And this will come up later in the semester as well.